All right, let's go ahead and get to my next guest at this time. Representing the hip hop group known as Scribbling Idiots. This man and Just Me, fellow member of the group, about to release a collaboration project. You can check out their songs Mad World and Irreplaceable, both on all the platforms right now. I'm joined with the homie Cash Meta right here, right now. How's it going, man?
Yo, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Good, man. Thanks for bearing with me, and again, my apologies for the mix-up stuff and everything.
Yeah, you straight, man.
Yeah, so shout out to Just Me. He's listening somewhere right now. So before we get to your thoughts in this project with Just, I was telling everybody um, 6 years ago, shot the music video for Distracted in Lexington, Kentucky, at the album place. I was an
Right.
extra for that video. I was probably there probably for the last 10, 15 seconds of the music video.
Right, I
So,
know what you're talking about. Where,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
that
was,
little scene at the album with the crowd, you and the
yeah,
crowd
so,
there.
yeah, yeah,
That's what's good.
yeah. So yeah, I've been rocking with Scribbling Idiots for since then. Of course,
Okay.
me and Just Me have been really really good friends for longer than that. So and,
Right.
Just has been on a tear with this Jim Rats project, getting these award nominations, and now y'all two are linking up again. So I'm excited, man,
Yeah.
for this collaboration project. So with that being said, man, like talk about how this collaboration project with you and Just came about.
Word. Well, Justin and I have known each other something like 20 years. So, and that's about how long Scribbling Idiots has been a thing as well. We pretty much, I mean, I can't put an exact date on. I know when we met in terms of like pretty much that date, but I don't remember how long it was. But it wasn't too long after we met where we decided to form a crew. It was within the first year, I would say. So yeah, I think like '03 is when Scribbling Idiots became a thing, and it just grew and grew, and we just added members, kind of from all over, other dope MCs and producers, just like-minded individuals that we felt were similar to what we were trying to do. So yeah, we did that, and then in '04 we released our first duo album, which is kind of introduction to SI. And then I'll fast forward real quick. In '08 we put out a second duo project. Um, Just Me and Cas Metah are unemployed. So it had been since '08 since the two of us had actually done a project, like just a duo project. Of course, there's been Scribbling Idiots albums. There have been, three, four, five of those since then, with mixtapes included and such. But it had just been a minute, you know what I mean? So it just everything kind of come full circle. It was just that time again. It just kind of happened organically, I think, and there really wasn't. I guess the main thing was just, you got to catch Just, like you said, he's on a tear right now.
Yeah.
If you know Just on a personal level like I do, you got to know, you got to catch Just when he's on a tear. You got to catch him when he's in that mood to and to be creative. You know what I mean? Because he kind of goes through seasons like that. So I knew he was in the season. So I guess that's kind of how how I kind of got him on the hook, and we ended up working on this new album. Yeah, the word. And we
Awesome,
started doing
man.
that last year, and it came along really quickly. We're done now. We just got the last mix for the last song like a few days ago. So yeah,
All right, so this is the first duo project since 2008.
8,
Um,
yeah,
so
from the two of us. The
yeah,
two of us
so
have definitely been busy since then. I mean, if you
yeah,
check my Bandcamp or any of my, for people who aren't familiar, if you check any of the DSPs, you can find plenty of other music. And we've definitely collaborated on songs since '08, lots of those, but no actual full project. And so, yeah, when we put out the Mad World single in January and kind of let people know we were coming back, it was good to see a lot of the same supporters from all them years back still, like they were like, man, we've been waiting, you know what I mean? So that felt good that we were like, okay, we didn't miss the boat, we're not too old, you know what I mean? People are still excited about hearing us together. So, and then of course we also look forward to, like, this time around, really trying to make some moves with expanding the fan base. You know what I mean? We reached out. We got some pretty heavy hitting features on the record. The Irreplaceable single that you mentioned, it features Capadonna from Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I mean? The next single that drops in a few days on March 1st, another heavy hitter on that one. Um, you know what I mean? And then, like, we got a few heavy hitters on the album that hopefully will, maybe expand the fan base in terms of maybe their listeners will catch an ear toward us. You know what I'm saying? So we never really done that before in the past. Like, in the past, we strictly just worked with, like, the homies. You know what I mean? We had
yeah,
features on the album, but it was other, like, SI members or Cunning Linguists or Syntax the Terrific, or we just have so many homies that we were able to reach out to. But this time we kind of went into the upper echelons, if you will. You know what I mean? And grabbed some real what I would consider A-list names for our project. So excited about that for sure.
no,
And from the irreplaceable response, from the response people would give us from irreplaceable, I think we made a good decision in doing that. So
oh
word
yeah,
up.
absolutely. It were Mad Word definitely set the tone for the project. And then follow that with Irreplaceable with D1 and Capadonna.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Capadonna from the legendary Wu-Tang Clan. Any hip hop head knows who Wu-Tang Clan is and their contributions to hip hop, not just as a collective, as a group, a conglomerate, or whatever term you want to use, but their contributions individually as well. And I've noticed a lot of my hip hop friends has gotten tracks with Capadonna this past year. And
Cap is
Capadonna's,
on fire,
you
man. He's
know,
been dropping projects. I didn't mean to cut you off, but he's been dropping so many projects. He's one of the more active members of Wu right now, if you really paid attention, in my opinion.
yeah,
So yeah, he's working.
yeah, he's
But yeah,
definitely staying busy. Um, musically, obviously. So I'm excited about this project, and so much so that I did went back and listen to the previous projects, just to get
word.
familiar, with you both. Of course, I've already vibed to the SI projects in years past. So, man, so yeah, I've honestly like what y'all doing. I like what y'all repping for the culture. Y'all definitely holding it down as true MCs. Um, Hip hop, and it must, hip hop is in for quite a year this year because it is the 50th anniversary of hip hop in
That's right.
2023. So, happy birthday to hip hop. That won't be until August. So very, very
Right.
excited about that. So just me, Cash Meta. Go check out their singles, Mad World and Irreplaceable, featuring D1 and Capadonna. Both songs are available on the DSPs right now, and they also are available on Bandcamp as well. So make sure you support these two artists and definitely rocking with them. Um, so since I did mention hip hop turning 50 years old, I will ask you this: um, just the longevity that hip hop has had and how much of an impact it's had on not just in this country but towards the world. Just I want to hear your thoughts on hip hop turning 50 years old and the impact it's made for you as a fan and as an artist yourself. Just talk about what this hip hop 50th anniversary means to you per se.
Yeah, man. I mean, hip hop raised me. So I mean, in multiple ways, you know what I mean. So it's been a part of my life since I was probably 10 years old, like a firm hold. You know what I mean? And I'm 41, so that's 30, 30 plus years of my life. So I've been here for over half of that 50, which is crazy to even think about out loud. I'm like, wow, that's kind of dope. But I mean, so and I feel like I was there for some of those best years. You know what I mean? The '90s to us, to a lot of us, um, were the '90s and early 2000s. I'll even give some of that a run. Was just like a special time. You know what I mean? Like, and just and I'm not trying to segue too hard back into the promo for the record, but this follows up with what we're talking about. I'll just go ahead and say it. We haven't really announced the name of the album, but we'll just go ahead and give you a little exclusive right now. The
Mm-hmm.
name of the album is called The New 93. And the reason it is called that is because this is 30 years after 93, right? Even though and I wasn't even really planning for it to happen during the 50 year. That just shows you how things, pan out. That's
Yeah.
kind of dope. But the new 93, because the 93 era was like the mark of something, the changing for me. Like, I know a lot of people say the golden era, you could start way back in '88, but I was a little young back then. So for me, being a little bit younger, if you look at the timeline, like 91, 92, I was getting into it. By 93, it was like it was on full on, and that was a hell of a year. If you listen to any, you could go back and pull out any number of albums from that year. So it just was a special time. So we called it the New 93, trying to give people that essence, not just sonically, but um, just that whole feel. Like, back then there was no filler on an album. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
all fire, all gas. Like, on a lot of albums for the most part. The ones we're talking about, the ones that we really hold up there. So yeah, man, hip hop to me, man, from all the way back then to now, I mean, will always be super important in my life, and it's changed everything as far as the whole worldwide thing, like taking it from where it started, just as a New York thing, and then expanding all across our country and then the other countries. I've been all the way across the world to Australia and seen the hip hop culture firsthand over there. And in 2013, I was able to do a tour over there, and I was there for like 4 weeks. So I really got to like actually get to know a lot of the dudes. You know what I mean? Spend a lot of hang time with them in between the shows and stuff. So I got to see how it's affected everybody worldwide. Man, it's a phenomenal thing, man. It's a phenomenal culture. It's I really could talk about it all night long, honestly. I mean, depending on where we want to go with it, like specifically. But I love it. I'm glad it's here, and it's funny that they said it was just a fad, because it ain't never gonna die, never.
Nah.
That ain't never gonna happen. Period.
Nah. Hip hop is here to stay. And if anybody checked out the tribute at the Grammys, just seeing all these artists from then to now. Obviously, you can't. Not everybody can't perform for obvious reasons. People got their own reasons not to. But I thought, given how Grammys and hip hop don't always see eye to eye, I think it was a job well done by everybody that performed that tribute at the
Yeah, for
Grammys.
sure.
So, and while you was talking about 1993, I did take a look at some of the albums or some of the artists that released the project in 1993,
Oh
and
yeah.
so I'm just gonna go through some names here: Heavy D,
Do it.
Brand Nubian, Tupac, Naughty by Nature, Ghetto Boys, Ice T, LL Cool J, Onyx, Mob Deep, man, MC Breed, One DMC, Guru, The Roots, Big Daddy Kane, Mac Dre, I mean, Biz Markie, MC Light, Yo Yo, I mean, JT the Bigger Figure, Cypress Hill Tag Team, Fat Joe even released, Chris Cross, 8 Ball MJG, Scarface, I mean, De La Soul, rest in peace to the Trickery DeVoe, rest in peace to him, KRS-One, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, Salt and Pepper, Easy E, Eric Sermon, even Shaquille O'Neal released an album that year. A Tribe
You
Called,
name like 50 people, and only like think about it though. Like
yeah,
how many of those names like really like do we not consider legends now? I know
yeah,
like nobody really messing with tag team like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like there was a few in there that I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't really call them a
yeah,
legend. But for like you got to say like 90% of that list is probably like legendary status
yeah,
now. You know what I mean? Like nowadays,
yeah,
where and it's phenomenal when you think back to that era, that real special era, and what those people became. So
yeah,
we'll never see it again. It's like they've always compared it to the jazz era, back in the day, like that real jazz era, and it's kind of like real similar to that, I would say. You know what I mean? And yeah, like just our we listen, man. I came. You remember Mr. Grimm
yeah,
from
oh yeah,
like I was a Mr. Grimm fan, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
but he was like, you think about it, he never put out a solo album. He was like what you might consider one of our third or fourth tier rappers, like in terms of like popularity. You had to really be ahead. You heard that Endo Smoke on Poetic Justice,
Mm,
and he had the Higher Learning joint, and he had a few features here and there. He was on like DJ Pooh's album, but that's really all we got from him. But he was like super. My point is, even our fourth tier level rappers back then were phenomenal. Were like so much better than what these people nowadays are playing on the radio considering their top tier. It's like you're just never gonna get that again, man. Like that, the special, the creativeness, the originality it was in that time is never to be duplicated. I mean, we try our best to withhold it. You know what I mean? Uphold it, but to like, man, to see it again. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those old heads that doesn't think that hip hop is. Listen, we're in a great place with hip hop. If you know where to look and you know
yeah,
who you're listening to, like if you're mainly looking underground, basically, you know what I mean, where we always look. Things really haven't changed in a whole 30 years. Even 30 years ago, I was figuring that out as a
oh
young buck.
yeah.
Like, but man, yeah, like yeah, you gonna have me talking all night to you about hip hop, bro. Like this is what we do over here.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's 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 a special thing. You know what I mean, it's a special culture. It's a little bit more special to me than I like all kinds of music. Don't get me wrong, I really do. I grew up on rock and roll, and I love R&B too, and soul, and so many different kinds of music. But yeah, but there's just something special about that hip hop. You know,
yeah,
it really
absolutely,
is.
man. And there were some other leaders of the new school, which include
Mm.
Busta Rhymes,
Busta
very
Rhymes.
very young Busta, Eric Sermon, Easy E, of
Mm.
course Wu Tang
Crazy.
Clan into the 36 Chambers album,
Yep.
E40, MC Ran, Queen Latifah, and then there was Snoop Doggy Dogg with Doggy Star album
Nope.
came out that year in
Yeah, I
'93.
don't know if you said Souls of Mischief, 93 Till
Yeah,
Infinity. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Our album title is low key, like paying homage to that too. Like
yeah,
not low key, but I mean, it is like we definitely the whole high road crew. I got my high road T-shirt on, one of my high road T-shirts on right
Yeah.
now, and my kicks. Shoot, I forgot I got my kicks on my high road. I got like what are these, like the Air Force? I don't know what these are, but they're high road shoes. But yeah, man. Yeah, man, it was a crazy time. Casual, all them dudes.
Yeah.
Still, and still today, that's like I said, those are the dudes that I still listen to, still check for. And a lot of those vets from back then are better now than they were back then. If they were the type to really stay sharp with it, I mean, I'm hearing better, wittier bars now from certain MCs than a lot of dudes did fall off, but a lot of dudes have remained sharp, which goes to prove my point that hip hop ain't going nowhere. It's not just a young man's game. I tip my hat to the youngsters, and they can do what they do, but you know,
Yeah.
I think the best hip hop out right now is coming from people that are 40 and up. Yeah, I mean, I'll say 35, but I mean, you gotta live your life. You gotta have now that hip hop has reached that age of maturity where we're like where we're grown ups doing it now, and it's like just the concepts, the things that we can talk about. You know what I mean? It can really. If they thought young KRS was giving them game, you know what I mean? What do they think the 50 something year old KRS is going to give them? You know what I mean? He's going to give them triple the game. So yeah, man, don't sleep on the vets. Don't sleep on the OGs.
Absolutely, man. So I'm joined with Cash Meta, representing the Scribbling Idiots. Cash and Just Me has a upcoming duo project. He just announced the name of the title, the new 93. Mad World is going to be on there. Irreplaceable featuring Capadonna and D1 is going to be on there. And they got a new song coming out on March the 1st next week.
Yep,
So
it's
get
called
ready.
Blast Off.
Blast Off is the name of the track. So get ready for that. You can pre-save it on the platforms right now. So great job having you on the show, Cash. Great to reconnect. So props to you and Just on this project, man, and appreciate your time. And I'm looking forward to this full project once it comes out.
Word, man. I appreciate you and what you're doing for the culture, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. You have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.